We're on the shores of Gitchagumi on Chequamegon Bay. That's kind of a mouthful.
An absolute tongue twister.
We're on Lake Superior, on a great big bay off of Lake Superior in Ashland, Wisconsin. And actually we're standing in front of one of the best shops to get information. This is a world-renowned place for big smallmouth bass. But what a lot of people don't know is that there's a lot of nomadic walleyes in this system. Aaron and I are going to go out and see if we can track down one of these groups of walleyes. And so come on along with us and get your next bite.
Just looking for the next bite, next bite, next bite, next bite. Just looking for the next bite. It's the
Chequamegon Bay is part of Lake Superior in northern Wisconsin. Running from the southwest to the northeast, the bay is almost 12 miles long.
GP, are we going to take my boat today?
No, Aaron.
Come on!
The allure of any Great Lakes fishing is the potential for size and numbers of fish. However, locating them effectively can be a daunting task.
A little bit later on in the year when they go out to deeper water over the channel out there.
Yep.
And you fish with bigger flicker minnows, and you get bigger fish.
That's why professional walleye tournament angler Gary Parsons and his good friend Aaron Templin are set up to tackle this huge bay, much like they would any other Great Lakes bay.
There seems to be one common denominator in these Great Lakes bays, and I would consider Chequamegon Bay a large bay. This is early July right now, and these fish are just now starting to move. You'll want to look for them at first into the real shallow stuff, and they'll come out after they spawn, and they'll go to that first drop-off. So from the shoreline, it'll taper on all the way out here, out in this area to that first break. And that first break is a place that I like to look. In this particular area, that's anywhere from 7 to 11 feet. And what I really like to look for in many of the Great Lakes, and particularly here in Chequamegon Bay, is that narrow band of weeds that grows right at the base of that drop. And the fish are at first going to hang right in those weeds or just on the outside edge. Now, I was here about a week ago. That's where the fish were. But then as you get more and more warm weather, those fish start to filter out into the flats. And what we have in front of us here is a huge flat. Ranges anywhere from 13 down to 20 some feet. And that's kind of a typical scenario also for the Great Lakes. As they wander out along those flats later in the summer, they may hit the deeper weeds or rock piles. Here in Chequamegon Bay, they kind of work out into those middle of the flats areas, so you have to try to find them from day to day. But then they'll even dump out into the main deep channel coming in from Lake Superior, and you can use like number 11 flicker minnows on lead core and stuff. Start targeting those deeper fish. You won't get as many fish normally, but you're going to get some monsters, you know, some 8 to 12 pound fish. So that's kind of a general pattern. It's a pattern that we're fishing here today. We came in at first looking at that shallow weed edge where I caught them last week. Didn't have as good a success. Started moving out into the flat a little bit. Bam, hit little pods of fish here and there.
Let me get some rods cleared here.
Oh, this feels like a good one here.
Yeah, that looks good. I gotta get that other board out of the way. I'm like a little speed reeling and clearing some rods for a nice fish, huh?
Yeah. They always seem to bite on the outside lines too, don't they? A lot of times you can kind of guess how they bit it. The ones that are hooked in the nose, they come pretty easy, but all of a sudden you'll feel head shakes that are kind of wide, you know?
Yep.
So you know that the fish has got to be pretty good size because of the distance between the head shakes.
Right.
And then the next one you get that T-bones that are corner of the mouth or something like that, and they feel a lot heavier. My guess is
the net on this guy.
we got one of the two going on here, you know?
Yep. Let's get that board off and see what we have on the other end. Yeah, that feels like a nice fish.
He sure didn't bite like
Nice
Smalley,
wally. Another nice
Here
wally.
he comes.
There we go.
That is a nice fish. The old green one again.
Got that color figured out, didn't you?
Yeah. That color is pretty much a universal walleye color on Great Lakes fish.
Yeah, you've been talking about it, but now we're seeing it.
Yeah.
Quality fish.
Well, now look, he's not that long, but look how fat he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just wide from top to bottom. I think these walleyes here are almost as wide as the smallmouth.
Oh, for sure.
The smallmouths here are long and big, but a lot of them are kind of skinny from top to bottom. The walleyes are just the opposite.
Chunks.
Yeah,
little chunks
they're
and
chunks.
good fighters.
Yep. All right, buddy, your lucky day. Most guys would put you in the box.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Tracker Boats. Fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Berkley. Catch more fish. And MotorGuide. Accuracy matters. Closed captioning for the next bite is provided by Power Pole, the ultimate in shallow water anchors. While the Great Lakes are all very much their own animals, you can generally break down a trolling bite in a very similar way on all of them.
Aaron, you're flatline. You're flatline.
Finding fish on a large spread trolling setup isn't just limited to structure theory. Testing and implementing crankbait running depths is extremely important too.
Nice.
A nice little fish. An often overlooked tool in the troller's toolbox is the use of a flat line trolling rod. The cool part about using your flat line is you can let that line out nice and slow, nice and easy, all the way down to the bottom. You're able to see your crankbait action and that crankbait digging down into the bottom. You're gonna sit and troll like that for a while. A lot of the time the walleyes like to pick it up right off the bottom. If that doesn't work, crank it up a couple feet. You might only raise that crankbait 6 inches, but that could be the difference between getting a bite and not getting a bite. You can transfer that information out onto your planer boards. That is going to create the total package. You're going to catch more fish with it. Start using your flatline trolling rods.
Oh, there's one. No? There he is. He tapped it, he missed it, and he came back.
Got him though, huh?
Oh yeah.
For sure. That's that same color too, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. I'll probably try to net him.
Looks like the right kind. I'll grab that net.
Okay.
All right. Another walleye.
I like that eye troll. It's so easy, like right from here. I used to have to go back and adjust the handle, you know. So, today's Eater City.
You got it.
The only nice one we had on, we lost. I mean, you know, big one, but this one is even probably a little too little to be an eater.
You got it.
A little too small. They're pretty though. You know, they're not, for as red as this water gets sometimes, they're a nice, pretty fish. They're not real dark like some of the other natural lakes around here.
For sure.
Sight Bites. Real-time fishing information from all the pros in one place at walleyechatter.com.
It's absolutely no secret that the flicker shad lineup and the flicker minnow lineup for Berkley has been fantastic for catching walleyes and crappies all over the country for quite a few years now. And one of the things that you've seen those lines do is evolve with colors, sizes, different things like that. I mean, these are 2 new colors that basically were handpicked by the pro staff. We fish a lot of different colors depending on different water clarities, and we'll first talk about the flicker shad lineup. There's 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and 9s. And a lot of people just think, okay, they dive a little bit deeper, the bigger they are, the bill's a little bit bigger, the action's gonna be a little bit different. But this specific bait right here, an unknown thing about this size number 6, it's neutrally buoyant. So it's actually a suspending bait. It's the only one in the entire lineup of flicker shads. So what will that do for you? Basically, it's going to be a very good casting bait. You're able to pause that bait, it'll suspend in the water column, but also on a cast, it'll dive a little bit deeper than a 7 because of that weighting. So that 6 is suspending, something that a lot of people don't know. And then when we get into the flicker minnow lineup, most people think Lake Erie fishing, open water fishing, maybe on green bait, that size number 9, the size 11, the bigger profile minnow baits. And the bait I really want to talk about here is actually the size number 5 in this lineup. Something that also I think is very overlooked. And one of the things that we've seen is basically trying a little bit longer profile than say a flicker shad, longer and narrower, but where I want to troll small baits, it's shallower water, I'll troll a 5 flicker shad and a 5 flicker minnow side by side and just see which one produces more. New colors, a bunch of different sizes, and one of those things, when we look at it, this 5 in the flicker minnow, most people don't fish it. You really need to be putting it on your line, and that 6, if you're casting in that flicker shad lineup, that 6 is an absolutely great bait.
One of the most important pieces of equipment that we have in our fishing arsenal today is our mapping units. This is a LOWRANCE carbon unit, and it's coupled with an activated Navionics chip inside. You can see this is a typical map that we have of this lake. I'm going to show you a little secret though. With Sonar Chart Live, when you turn it on, you can actually map as you're on the water with way more detail. So we're just going to go into overlay, hit Sonar Chart Live, and you're going to see the sonar chart that's being built right before your eyes. Now we're in a little deeper water here. I'm going to drive into where it's a little shallower, and you'll see all of a sudden this map is going to be building itself as we drive along. Here we're going up to 7, 6, 5 feet. You can see the map drawing the contour lines live as we're on the water. One thing you'll notice is those contour lines are different than what's on the map chip. You'll see little subtleties, sharper drop-offs, points, things you've never seen before. In fact, I'm going to just stop for a second here, and I'm going to zoom out the map, and we're going to take you to an area that I've been fishing. We're kind of going to zoom over to this area here. This is the Navionics chip normally that anyone can buy and put in various units. With the LOWRANCE unit and an activated chip and me using Sonar Chart Live, I was going in and out of these shallow areas and we'll find out that these contour lines aren't accurate at all. The live part is showing you humps and points sticking out, areas of sharp drops compared to tapers, and you can see that literally I have a brand new map of the lake drawn for me, but this is the real deal. And you can catalog this. If you want to find a little secret spot or a nice structure area where there's a lot of fish, man, this is the way to go. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's going back nice.
It feels pretty decent.
Get this one cleared and let me get to the net. Yeah, that one looks good.
Yeah, I'll hit a waypoint here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he feels like a pretty decent one.
Let's get that board off and find out. There we go. Filter right on the line.
Not much line left there, Aaron. I'm going to be raising him here.
Oh yeah, nice fish. There we are.
There's a good fish. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a nice fish. And he was hooked in the nose. You see it just popped right out there? It's the way he was fighting. He was coming in pretty easy.
Yep.
He kind of felt like a big fish because I heard the bonk, bonk, bonk. Hey, Aaron, you got one.
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
Another one.
Yep.
On the flat line with this one.
Yeah. How's that one feel?
This one feels pretty good too. Yep, it's a nice
I'm going to
fish,
have
buddy.
to free line this, Aaron, and oh man, he looks like a really good one, huh?
Yeah. That turn down, but just snoot hooked.
Oh,
perfect.
Yeah.
Little pandemonium, but we got him, didn't we?
That's actually pretty cool when I have to free line my other line. I could have supposed I could have bit it off and cut it, but and then stretch out the net and net too. Oh, that's awesome.
Perfect. Another nice fish.
Yeah, why don't you grab that one and start working on them? We got a little bit of a mess here now. Yeah, you work on that one. I'm going to get this one. We're going to have to get this bait.
Barely hooked.
Oh, he's still pretty
Wild
lively.
one. Hey, these are good quality though.
Yeah, these are good fish. These are real nice fish, more typical Chequamegon Bay fish.
Right.
And then the next one could be an 8-pounder. So
Nice.
I mean, no, these are real good. I'm going to get this one back.
That one's wild.
Yeah.
He's ready to go. Fine-tuning a crankbait bite is one of the fun things that you get to do while you're developing your walleye bite on the water. Gary started out the other day on a little half-day trip, catching his walleyes on a number 5 flicker minnow. So when we came out today, we've set our big spread out. You get to try out different sizes and develop what the walleyes want, what the walleyes are going to tell you they want. So we started sneaking in number 7 flicker minnows. What we've noticed from our number 7 flicker minnows is a little bit better quality fish and a little bit more bites. Started sneaking in some number 9 flicker minnows. Number 9 flicker minnows produced bigger fish yet, a little bit better quality, a little bit more bites. That's one of the fun things that always happens on the water as you're developing that crankbait bite and moving that next step forward. We started out with a real natural color and getting bites, but play with another color, see what else is going to develop. We switched into the greens, and the greens really took off. Really let the fish tell you what they want. The greens and the purples today, been dynamite. Fine-tuning that crankbait bite, even more fun.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Tracker Boats. Fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Berkley. Catch more fish. LOWRANCE. Find, navigate, dominate. MotorGuide trolling motors engineered for anglers. Strike King. Legacy of domination for 50 years. And Power Pole. Swift, silent, secure. Hot topics, leading information, and tackle and techniques to make you a better angler. Presented by Mercury.
So about 3 or 4 years ago, we started using a trolling motor called the XI5. We use it out on the tournament trail. It's been really reliable, just really a great engine. But the thing was, it's a high-end engine. It's a little bit more expensive. The beauty is right now they've got a new trolling motor called the XI3, which is basically built for these mid-sized to even smaller boats so that you can get that same boat control, but in a little bit less expensive package. The XI3, though, is still going to function great. It's super quiet, both at the prop, you know, so when it's running through the water, there's not a lot of hum, there's not a lot of noise. It's also quiet in its bracketing, so you're not hearing that creaking and groaning and moving around as you turn and use the trolling motor. It's got the speed control that you want. And the beauty is it's wireless. So with a remote control like this or with a wireless foot pedal, you can take and control speed, you can turn it, you can be anywhere in the boat, whether you're trolling in the back, whether you're up here pulling bottom bouncers, whether you're anchored up and standing in the back throwing shiver minnows, you can do it all. But again, really precise speed control. And then the last thing, of course, is the anchoring. It's got pinpoint GPS. Just like our XI5, it's actually got 2 different receivers up here. So when you lock it in, it's gonna sit right there and let you work over that structure really precisely. So the beauty of the XI3, you get all 3 of those great functions: speed control, less noise, the anchoring, but it's in the package that's a little bit more affordable, so you can put it on these smaller boats, but still catch a lot of fish.
From analyzing area structure to flexibility in exploring running depths to colors and sizes, it's been a step-by-step process in breaking down these Lake Superior walleyes.
I don't even have to take any boards off on this one, Aaron.
No, I was just playing with my crankbait colors, seeing if I was going to do a change, and got one to lock on.
I've got a great little tip for you, and it's putting crawlers on your crankbaits. It's kind of a tournament secret, but a lot of guys do it different ways, and I've experimented with all of them. Some guys put them off the middle hook, some guys put them off the end hooks, some guys string full crawlers, half crawlers. But to me, the system that I'm going to show you is, to me, it's the best. I've had the best success with it. The first thing is, I'm going to put it on the tail hook. And what you want to do is stretch your crankbait out, and you're going to stretch it out so that it's real flat. You'll see that there's going to be an odd hook, one that rides right down the center of the bait. Sometimes it's on the bottom, sometimes it's on the top. In this case, it's the bottom hook. That's the one you want to hook the crawler on because it doesn't throw the bait out of tune. Then you're going to end up taking a small tail piece of crawler, only 1 inch to 1.25 inches long. Take the hook that you've selected, hook this crawler right towards the end, about 1/8 inch away from the end, and as it swims, it's going to end up flipping back and forth. Now don't do this on your number 5 flicker minnows or on your number 7 flicker minnows. Their action's too delicate, they're too small of baits, and the crawler will throw that action out of whack. But the 9s and the 11s, it's perfect.
Got a little tangle here.
Oh, we got one here.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that looks like a good one too.
Yeah, this is a good fish.
Let me get this out of here so I can get the net ready.
Go ahead and work it. I'll get the board myself.
Got him on there?
Oh yeah, I got him.
Awesome.
I think this is on that other bigger flicker minnow too, isn't it?
Yep, it is. I'll sneak underneath you. Nice fish.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Oh, and he
Just
pops off.
smooth.
That's a nice fish.
That is a chunky one. That's perfect.
Yeah, that is a great fish.
Heck yes.
For you to get all the baits out of the deal, this is a great fish.
Beautiful
You know,
fish.
they're very well bodied here.
I mean, when those boards go back, you don't know what you have on there. They're fighting so tough.
You start getting into better walleyes, they fight.
Yeah.
They really do. So, and as the summer wears on out here, you get really, if you hang a 8-9 pounder, you can't even believe how hard it is.
It's a battle.
Yeah.
It's a battle.
All right, man, let's, we got a little school going. Let's see if we can pound on them a little bit.
Let's keep going.
Can I keep it? Can I keep it and eat it?
Check me out on I-95 and a fresh piece of Havarti cheese.
Good. You nailed it. The worst part is when you put your crankbaits on, then they get all orange afterwards. But the scent trail is awesome. I mean, let's face it. If you were a walleye, wouldn't you follow a Cheeto?
Oh, for sure. Doing that trolling bite, and I'm way off. Try to get ourselves into for fine-tuning a bite, and I lost where I'm going. And in building this, what the walleyes want you to eat, why?
The Next Bite would like to thank River Rock Inn and Bait Shop of Chequamegon Bay on Lake Superior, the perfect place to kick off your fishing, biking, or skiing adventures. For fast online booking, visit riverrockinn.net.